anything else? Okay. All right. The American flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And the Texas flag.
On the Texas flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Let's pray. Our Father, we just thank you for allowing us to come together today. We just ask your guidance as we make decisions for the county. Continue to be with the people in Hutchinson County. Please keep us well. Just be with us as we go through the times that are so uncertain. In your name we pray. Amen. Okay, anybody have any questions on the bills?
Make a motion to approve payment of bills. Second.
Motion and second to pay the bills. Any discussion? All in favor? Kathy, do you have payroll?
I do.
Okay.
I handed that out to y'all. This is for the one we paid on July the 30th. And the total payroll wages was $592,484.15. Our total payables was $237,381.53. So the total was $829,865.68. And the changes this time is Joyce Young went to work in the district clerk's office on August the 1st. And Ethel P-U-E-B-L-A. P-U-E-B-L-A.
Pueblo.
Okay. She went to work in the adult probation office on August 1st. She's in the Perryton office. And then Timothy Rodriguez, his last day in the jail was August 4th. Thank y'all.
Thank you, Kathy. You're welcome.
Motion to approve payroll.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Any additions or corrections to our previous commissioners court meeting?
No corrections, July 27th and also August 3rd.
Okay. Item 6, any public comments?
No.
Item 7, consider, discuss, approve any and all items necessary or pertaining to the county jail. Do you have anything, Sheriff?
No, ma'am, other than the count would be 41 inmates, actually 45, 41 male and 4 female.
Okay.
So did the shower
Still
installed?
waiting, it hasn't been installed yet, still waiting on that. It's gonna take a while because of the COVID and they're waiting for the construction of it.
Did Monica get a hold of you this weekend?
No, sir.
She called me Thursday, I believe it was, and said the roof is leaking on the jail.
Okay,
And so I called Crawford, he's supposed to be there about 9 o'clock this morning.
okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, I was not aware of that.
He's there because they have the ladder up when I got
He's there, okay.
Okay.
But anyway,
I know they were working on the air conditioning, and I don't know if that's part of it, if it's leaking, the condensation or whatever, but I know that they were having issues with their air conditioner also, so.
she called me Thursday and I called him Friday and I got wait a minute, she called me Wednesday and I called him Thursday and I got a call about 4 o'clock Friday evening back from him. And he said that he was on vacation.
Okay,
And that he would have somebody over about 9 o'clock this morning.
thank you, sir. I'll go check on that after we get out of here.
All right. So more than likely the shower's gonna be carried over till next.
No, they said it's gonna take a couple of months. They don't know the exact date, but I'm hoping it gets here before the end of the year.
Sure. Didn't hear anything on that northwest bill.
I'm still working on that. I was off on vacation last week, but it's on my desk to work on this month.
Okay, anything further on the deal?
No, ma'am.
All right, item 8, consider discuss approving all items necessary pertaining to the county courthouse.
I talked to Carl Novane this morning, and he's said that they are talking back and forth, that the paperwork is between Trudy and the lady in the office at Train, and he hopes with it soon to have a contract signed where they can go to work. And he would let me know as soon as, but they are in the process to get the contracts together.
Okay, thank you. And item 9, consider and approve continuation certificate on the bonds for John Howarth and Cindy Poland in the amount of $1,000 each.
Motion approved.
Okay, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? All right, item 10, we are going to take that off the agenda. Julie called and asked that that just be removed from the agenda, but I'd already put it out, so I told her I would. Item 11, consider and or approve appointment of Ethel Judith Puebla as Community Supervision and Corrections Officer of the 84th and 316th Judicial Districts.
So
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? And the next item is item 12, consider and or approve the appointment of Natasha Swinford as Administrative Assistant in the Community Supervision and Corrections Department of the 84th and 316th Judicial District. Do we have that?
Well, she doesn't go to work until the 17th,
Okay.
so I'll report her till next.
Okay.
But she is taking Amber Satterwhite's place.
Oh.
Y'all may not have known Amber.
I'll take it.
I didn't even know her.
Well, Amber wasn't here very long, but
Okay.
yeah, she's taking
Okay.
her place.
Good. All right, motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. All right, item 13, consider and or approve equipment request from DPS. So I did get this request from DPS for, you know how they usually ask us for a equipment that they can't get from DPS. And so I talked to Casey Dawson, and he would like these extreme light rail mounted light. They're lights that they mount on their weapon. And they are $124.99. He's asking for 11 of those, and the total is $1,374.89. At present, we have $2,965 in that line item. Do y'all want to look at this? This is what he's asking for. Those items. That is not a DPS issue. Something they would normally issue to.
So they're getting it out of this year's budget?
Yes,
Okay,
it's a
that's
request for this
okay.
year's budget, yes. Of which I wrote the amount that we have in that line item there on that paper.
I can make a motion to approve the equipment request from DPS.
Motion and second. Any further discussion on that? All in favor? All right, item 14, update on COVID-19.
Okay. Very much I do this one. Throat's a little irritated this one. Sorry, it's not.
Yeah, he doesn't have a I'll make you a copy. Okay. Yeah, I should have made that for you. I'm sorry for that. Do you want this? I have some. Okay.
Currently, this is our state numbers in the state of Texas. Total 486,362 total cases, 8,459 fatalities, 344,845 total recoveries. Daily new cases as of yesterday were in the 4,000, still in the 4,000, high 4,000 mark on daily cases. As of Hutchinson County, right now, total of the state, this is the state numbers, as we're showing at 126 is what the state's showing us as positive cases. That's not active, that's just positive. Unfortunately, we did have to add another one to our fatality group this weekend. We had 3 fatalities in Hutchinson County. Recoveries, the state's showing us at 97 total recoveries. This right here is probably this is the one that the state looks at a lot as far as when they're going to start, opening things up in different tiers. The governor has said in an interview that especially bars and local businesses and that aspect, he looks at this, he wants to get this rate around the 10% mark. Right now we're showing at the 20.31%, which is definitely higher than we've seen in the state yet. The positivity rate.
Can you move that over just a second?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So yeah, and then like I said, as far as what the governor said, he's trying to get this down to that 10% and keep it at lower than a 10% rate to try to start opening up some additional businesses within Texas and start lessening some restrictions.
When was the last time we were at 10%?
Do what?
When was the last time we were at 10%?
End of June.
Well, I can't do it's not active on here.
Well, I'm
Probably
just trying-
End of June.
June, March, around there.
Since
August. it's
mid-June, it just seems like we have this, it's every day. Every day, we've got at least one or more cases every day.
Right. Well, it seems like we're doing 1 to 5 on a daily. It's daily now. We're supposed to get those new cases.
This graph here is state though, not.
This is the state
Not
7-day positivity rate. So they take an average of the 7 days. You'll see whenever you'll look at the daily testing, daily positives, you'll see a dramatic drop on the weekends. This is because less people are getting tested on the weekend.
Yeah, and they're not really reporting, I don't think. On the
Right.
weekend. They're not for us.
So that's why they have to break out the 7-day positivity rate to show those numbers a little more accurate. This is our hospital statistics, lab confirmed COVID-19 patients in the state of Texas, 7,437. I guess the number you really want to pay attention to is available ICU beds. That number keeps declining. We really want to get that number up to make sure we have available ICU space for not just COVID patients, but for anybody else that needs an ICU bed for major traffic accidents, things like that. So available ventilators, that number keeps coming up just because we have a stockpile in Austin. We had a call with Tina last week. Ventilators are in good supply. We still have, if we can put in a request to get those really quick if we need to. So it's really the bed space and the nurses to take care of these people is what we want to keep in good supply. This is our region. As far as our region right now, we were at around about 100 101 to 140 so available ICU beds. In our region, which is that blue area, that little line around it, everything to the north. Right now we're at 44 available ICU beds in our region.
Doesn't seem like very many.
Yeah.
It's not. It's came down quite a bit. So normally we're at the 100. When this was around I'd probably say April, May mark, we're about 100 to 140. Very in there somewhere. Right now we're at 40 or 44. I wanted to add this one in here because this is specific to Amarillo. So we had the region. Now this is specific to Amarillo. Hospitalization rate for COVID cases only is about 7.73%. Total bed utilization, adult bed utilization, 74%. Our ICUs are about at the 80% mark as far as utilization. So we have roughly 20%. Once this number gets to about the 90% mark, that's when we start looking at, we can't do as many transfers to Amarillo, so we have to start keeping things local. So even in major car crashes, things like that, we have to start looking at other places to put these people. So this number right here is higher than we'd like to see. We want to get this number down quite a bit. Ventilator use, like I said, we're in pretty good supply of ventilators, so at 40% mark. The last time I heard that as far as Amarillo, they had 67 patients admitted into Amarillo hospitals, and a little over half of those were ventilators. As per recommendations for the TDM or Texas Department of Emergency Management, trying to build a surplus of personal protective equipment. This is our EOC barn and border. We got several pallets of equipment in last week. I'm trying to get all this situated. This is mainly for medical staff, first responders, but we do have some overflow here and there, so we're able to get some to adult probation, juvenile probation, some hand sanitizer. Some things like that we have some overflow with. We'll try to hand that out as much as we can. But we are getting pretty good supply, and we're trying to get that 6-month supply of PPE for first responders and medical staff.
Thanks, Jerry.
So have we received the money from 50,000?
I got an email from Kathy that.
We got it last Wednesday or Thursday, 50,831.
Then we're gonna get it
That's
back,
your reimbursement.
we're gonna get it back into our individual.
Right, and so Kathy sent me an email how much exactly it was. I'm taking the invoices that y'all gave me and just kind of break them down into the department. I'll get those to Mark.
Okay.
And I think that's the process we need to go through. Get those to Mark just for, to take that money and get it put back.
And I guess you're gonna do a journal entry on all that, Mark?
Once I get their approval on it.
Y'all need to approve that when sometime.
Some of them are pretty low on, I'm getting pretty low on some of them.
I don't have the breakdown yet.
Well, yeah, as soon as I get that, I'll get it to Mark and then probably next.
I don't know if I'll need it, but I'm getting low.
We should have that by next meeting, have the breakdown for approval for where you want to put it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jerry. Any other comments, questions on that? Item 15 was to take any necessary action. I don't know, is there anything we don't need to? I think we're doing everything we can at present, so no action on 15.
What is our active case?
Good case count?
26,
26.
according to the state report.
Yes, I understand the problem.
Our numbers may be higher. All right, item 16, consider and or approve burn ban or rescind the burn ban.
As far as,
We don't have a burn ban on at present.
That's all.
And they just keep getting rain up here in Stinnett. Good grief.
Yes.
It must be God's country up here north of the river.
We started paying the preacher.
Yeah, yeah. You can see on the map, on the drought index map, that there's just a line north of the river. It's like super green, and then below that it's.
Yeah, we got 2.5 inches. Is that what you got?
Thursday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yes, we were trying to have a cool party.
You got more than I did. I got a 1.3, 1.8.
I got a
Not pulling up.
smell
Uh,
at
we
the
gotta
bottom of my
pull up,
cage.
right now we're at a
Hold on a second.
I think he has it at 347.
I thought we were.
We're still under that.
Looked like
$4
it.
mark. So
I didn't
right
go
now,
check my gauge for it.
Recommend.
It looked very well.
right
I got one.
So it is going up.
now. It did
Not
go up
before I
6
got
points.
1/2 inch.
Got hot and windy right now.
I got
Okay.
an inch and a half.
Okay, see, I just got a 1/2 inch Saturday night.
So total, I got about 330.
Did it rain last night?
Got
Yeah.
2/10 of an
Yeah, we
inch.
did. What did we get last night, Rick?
2/10 of what I got.
Dang,
We're not right.
That's what it should
We
be.
got a little bit.
I don't know, I was sleeping.
You probably got a little bit.
It's about midnight. Okay, thanks, Jerry. 18 or 17, consider it and approve disposal of obsolete office equipment. I don't think I have anything, any requests this time. 18, accept certificates of completion from elected or appointed officials.
I have one for myself. I did a webinar or several webinars for 9.75 hours from Secretary of State on elections.
Oh, yeah, I bet that was interesting. Item 19, consider and or approve request for the use of the club rooms. We're still not renting.
Waiting on James.
Still doing it.
Oh, we're waiting till after elections to do.
Well,
And we've got a book selling ours.
Do what?
We have a book selling ours. So
Oh,
if you
right,
like- if
that's
you like
right.
Books, make
Book
an appointment and go check
yes.
them.
Item 20, consider and or approve line item changes, transfers, and or budget amendments.
That's it.
All right.
Get close.
It's that time of year. 21, consider and or approve advertising, opening, accepting, or awarding bids. Nothing. 22, consider and or approve donations. Any donations out there? Okay. 23, accept reports from elected or appointed officials as required by statute.
I have the county clerk, district clerk, JP1, JP2, airport, Dwayne's, and then Kathy Castle.
Okay, I handed that out to y'all also. Yes. This is for the month of July. On the second page, in the bank account, I had 10,062.23. And in textbook, we had 12,016,189.54. The textbook rate is 0.18.
That interest rate was zero, or did we actually lose money? Or had, or just didn't take it?
When?
When the interest rate was zero, back,
It was 0.0 something.
Yeah,
yeah, or negative?
no, we didn't lose any money. No, it wasn't. Oh, just that one day. It was
Just,
like,
just one day it was?
yes, it was just one day. Yes, yeah.
Always wondered how that worked when it's negative.
Yeah, but it was just the one day that it was. No, I didn't lose any. I just didn't get what I had.
Kind of like losing at 0.18.
Yeah, 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 because see, back in February, it was 1.59, I believe.
So, the good old days.
Okay, item 24, discussion or take any action of county judges and commissioners precinct daily operations. I do have a thank you. I'll pass it around. Dennis sent this over from the airport. He received it from a couple who flies in occasionally. And Dennis said they are an older couple that have some mobility challenges. And so they will help them on and off the plane. And he said they've just been really super nice and they sent a nice thank you. I think our airport people go above and beyond. It's nice to hear. Anybody have anything else?
Yeah, we have one girl that her record book
Oh, yeah,
is going to state.
for the 4-H.
4-H. I think we need to get a congratulations card. I'll get one and we'll sign it.
I've got some.
Have you?
Yeah, I
But I think it's very commendable to her. She's going to state with her record book.
you guys don't leave afterwards, maybe I'll have one. Anything else on that line item?
Library finished their reading program, but I'll have them boost next time.
Okay,
But they set some new numbers. So they do a good job this year.
Good.
They do each other.
yes, they do. Ashley does a great job with her little online thing too. Okay, item 25, consider and or approve sale of struck off tax properties or tax deeds. We do have a few, maybe those copies. Right? Okay. All right, the first property is 0 Trinity Lane in Fritch. 0 Shevlin Drive in Fritch. You're gonna do all these at once. There's another one with the same address. It's different lots, lot 18, lot 20,
If we do the,
lot 13. Lot 1. Okay, There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is that right? 5, Edgar and Leanne Snyder.
Mhm.
Okay, so submitting an offer of $200 per lot in various locations there in the Arrowhead edition.
You get mine all ordered. I
Yeah,
had them different.
so they were struck off back anywhere from 2003 and appraised at 740, 420, 370, 760, and 260. They're offering $200 per lot.
So they live in that area and they're just buying more land around or in the vicinity. And
Does
most,
it all kind of look like that? Is that their house?
I don't know if that's their house or not. I don't think it is. But most of it's in a drainage area where it wouldn't be built anyway because it'd be flooded all the time.
Yeah.
And then the other one is this one. Itself. Well, that drainage area is back in here on the other ones. And then this one's up there by itself, and it's not even a level lot. Make a motion, we accept the offers on all the property that Edgar and Leanne Snyder made an offer on.
These 5 lots.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Thank you. And the next property is offered by Darren and Melissa Schick. Is that how you say their name?
Yep.
Okay, there's 2 properties, or 2 lots, I guess. Lot 25, lot 19 in the Arrowhead edition. They're offering $100 per lot. They were both appraised around $650.
So they live right in this area, and they're just buying the other two around there. Yeah, and that's big kind of cliche.
Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah, it's not level. I make a motion, we accept the offer $100 for the 2 separate lots by Darren and Melissa Schick.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay. Okay, budget time. Y'all want to take a break before we budget or you good? No? All right. Sheriff, you want to come talk about your budget?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and their cat. Did y'all read that? And their cat.
Okay, so I just
Come
wanted
on, Sheriff.
to revisit the idea of adding another deputy to our force. I understand that right now it's a tough year, COVID and all that. I know there's some restraints there, but my proposal to y'all would be to take money out of my SWAT card line item to help with the cost of the new officer. And let me point something out. I realized this morning when I came here that I didn't add the cost for Cop Sync under this proposal. That's roughly about $600 a year. I'm still waiting for a rep.
Per user?
Per user, right. So that's the only thing that's not on there. Like I said, it was kind of late, so I'm still waiting on the rep to give me the exact amount. But my thing was that if the cost of it would be, if you add the vest, the uniforms, the patrol rifle, that kind of stuff, just to equip the new deputy, will come up to about $82,000 for 187. Again, those rough estimate of what I can see that we would need. I understand that, again, money issues, but if I was to give up one of the vehicles, maybe take $50,000 off of my line item to help with the cost of that one deputy. I know, and again, I totally understand you trying to look after the taxpayers' money, but my point of view is I'm trying to look after the well-being of the taxpayers, the property and stuff like that. I know that we're looking at people losing employment and stuff like that, so the revenue might decrease a little bit, but I'm looking ahead at the crime rate might be going up because of COVID, because people don't have a job, because people are needing other stuff that they can't get because of the lack of jobs. So I'm just getting ready. Also, I would like to get this new deputy some specialized schools so that they can become our investigator. Right now, most of the time when we have 2 deputies on and they're working on sexual assault and stuff like that, they go to the office, they work, they try to do follow-ups or whatever, and then they get a call, they have to leave. So it's just going up and down, up and down, up and down. It's becoming an issue. Again, I'm just trying to get ready for what's coming next. Again, just like you guys are foreseeing a decrease on revenue, I'm foreseeing an increase in crime. And I think that our county would benefit from having an investigator with specialized training in order to help with that. So again, that's my proposal right there. I know that some of these costs, like uniforms, I'm pretty sure with my current budget, I could probably outfit the officer. So we probably, do away with the uniforms. Patrol rifle, we might have an extra one that they can use because some of these officers have their own weapons that they carry while on duty. So I could, we wouldn't have to get a new rifle or anything like that. So the main things would be the Axon, outfitting the vehicle, body camera, also for in-car cameras, and the cop sync license.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you're gonna reduce your vehicle fleet, what's this officer gonna drive?
So I have an extra vehicle that wasn't traded in because of that, trying to get ready for the next one. So we took Axon out of the vehicle and the body cam out of the vehicle along with the radio. So I would have to outfit the vehicle with, again, the Axon, the body cam, and the radio, which we can get that out of our current budget.
So you have enough existing vehicles?
Yes, ma'am. I kept one trying to get ready for this.
Questions, comments?
So in all reality, we're looking at maybe $30,000, $32,000 to get a new deputy instead of 80,000.
So from that point forward, is 2 cars be sufficient for you each year?
So this is one thing I'm gonna have to compromise, right? I would like, we get 3, 2, 3, 2, but the fact of the matter, folks, is that we have to have coverage out there. And so if that means us only getting 2 vehicles from now on, I'm gonna have to make it work and try to keep up with the upkeep of the vehicle and find other ways to save. I don't know what else to do because I can expect to drop $80-some thousand cost to you guys because you have to look at the budget and what you'll have to work with. So I'm gonna have to give something up. I mean, I understand how to give something up to gain something. So it is what it is.
So right now you get 2 vehicles 1 year, you get 3 the next.
Yeah.
So you think you get by with 1 year and 2 the next?
No,
I don't think so either.
no, that's not what he's saying.
No,
We're taking 2 every year.
right now,
100,000 every year. Right now, there's 150,000 in that line
yes.
item. Then he wants to reduce it to 100,000.
But then next year will be 100,000, we'll pay the full amount of the officer. Because we give 2 1 year and 3 the next. And so you're gonna have that officer every year. So you're either gonna have to pay, you'll have, if in other words, to pay for that officer on new cars, you'd have to take 1 1 year and 2 the next to pay for the officer.
No, he's dropping it from one
He's
fifty to
dropping it
100.
from one
Right.
fifty.
You're right about having to pay the officer every year, but the budget line item would stay 100 every year and not jump up to 150.
Yeah, but doesn't it every other year drop down to 100 anyway?
Every
For
other
two
year,
cars?
yes, sir, every other year.
Every other year drop
Yeah.
to 100 for 2 cars instead of 3.
Right.
So
So
I guess
you'd
that,
be-
what that would mean would be us having to drive our vehicles well over 100,000, which once you get to 80,000, that's when you start seeing issues with transmission, maybe air conditioning, all that. But with that said, I'm gonna have to find some other way to do it. And if that means one vehicle next year, I mean, I hate to say it, but I don't know. I mean, I have to do what I have to do, but I'm foreseeing what's coming, and I'd rather not. But maybe 1 year, you'll have enough to give me another vehicle. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe,
Maybe.
but.
And that's a big
right
maybe.
now,
I understand that's a big maybe, yes.
I mean,
But,
I won't be here to worry about it, but I still worry about the county.
no, yeah, I understand. Yes, sir. No. I completely understand. Right now, we have, anywhere, the vehicles, we have 4 vehicles that they're well over 100, well, not well, but right over 100,000. I have a couple of Tahoes that are, 100,000, 107. I have one that's got 95,000. Another one has 100,000. The truck has got 82,000 miles. So looking at the average yearly usage of the vehicle, we're getting about 33,000 miles for patrol every year. So next year, I'm looking at having some vehicles that might have 150,000, but it is a problem, and I understand completely. It's just one of those things that we're gonna have to address. It's just like air conditioning.
What would be the disadvantage of making your chief the investigator?
Oh, well, because I have a lot of so this is the thing that I like for y'all. If you have time to come to the office, I can show you the job that they have with administrative stuff, right? So he takes time away from what he's doing, vendors talking about other agencies, reports that need to be done. We do a lot of stuff. So I already did away with the patrol captain to put another officer in the street, right? We used to have 3 administrators. I'm down to 2. Now, between the chief and I, we're doing the job of 3 people because I was trying to add more patrolmen in the streets. So now if I take that, then I want, which again, I would have to be doing the job of 2 then. Or 3 actually, if you count the fact that I already did away with 1. I will be doing the job of the sheriff, the chief, and the captain if I was to make my chief deputy my investigator.
So you don't have a captain now?
No, sir. I did away with the spot, try to get another spot going. And even it's hard for me to find employees sometimes, and then FMLA or sick leave or training, we're shorthanded. I'm trying to keep the comp down as much as I can, but I'm already seeing that I'm having to call people coming, even for grand jury representations, call somebody out to do that. Because once they get here to grand jury, they can't leave. So more than likely, I'm having to use a deputy that's off duty, that's working extra hours, I'm trying to limit. I can only do so much. Crime is going up, investigations are coming about, and I don't have enough people. Again, like I said, I thank you for the opportunity to present, and that's all I can do is present to y'all. So.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Any questions, comments? Think about it.
My own. If a vehicle does need to be replaced, then within that year, then you'll come back to us and ask for a vehicle. That's, and that's something that's unpredictable too. But you gotta understand on where we're looking to.
Right.
Because the older, just like the older the equipment get, we try to keep them where the age and mileage is down.
Yes.
And we don't want to try to replace everything at once.
I understand completely.
So.
I have a question. On the handout, I think Drennan created, the salary comparison had Hutchinson County at 46 and Gray County at 41, but this has it at 55. So what's the difference?
So that would
Are we
be
paying-
12 pay at the maxed out pay, certificates and,
So what's Gray County at their max pay, do you know?
I'm not
Is
even
that-
going into that much detail.
Okay.
Now, because you look at longevity and whether they have a basic certificate, intermediate, advanced, or a master's certificate, that kind of stuff.
Did you add in here for, what they call the, advanced pay?
Yes, that,
Certificate.
It's in there?
yeah,
Okay.
that would be at that top.
Any other discussion on that? Oh, moving around in your heads. Okay. Jerry, did you have something on the radios? Did y'all get the email I sent you?
Yes.
Okay,
So, I got a question.
No, you go right ahead, go right ahead. It's my turn.
So, the city of Stinnett, city of Bridge, DPS, Park Service, are they gonna be on this system too, this radio system,
They will have the availability to go to.
with no charge?
No, they will have to be able to go to the system. We're providing the infrastructure for the system or for our side of it. So if
well,
like
the
say.
city boardroom.
The city of Boulder, yeah, so and the way that we were presenting on going to the system would be using our dispatching contract to, I guess, it's not us financing, it's Border financing, but we're using the dispatching contract to go on to to pay for our side of the infrastructure. So the city of Border would, if Stinnett or Fridge wanted to get onto the system, they're gonna have to use their dispatching contract, I guess, just like we are, to go onto the system as well.
But if they chose to go on also, it would reduce our costs some.
Correct. If they chose to go on, it would bring our costs down.
Only if they do it within 15 years. I mean, if they waited 15 years.
Well, they're gonna either have to do it
Even
now.
the contracted rate per year for like our dispatching contract, if they went onto it for the system, our rate would go down, because from what I was told, as far as Border, how they put that contracted amount is they take the cost and they break it down like right now it's at a per call basis. And this year we're on track at about 140 to 150,000 for this year for dispatching contract. Right now, I think we've invoiced 107,000. We're looking at the 140, 150,000 just based off per call basis. And we've talked to the Border about just taking that to a static amount, where it's easier to budget. And I think they put it in there at 110,000 a year for the dispatching contract amount. So, for instance, if they wanted to go onto the system, they would hit that static amount also. They said they would put that as static, and they would bring our amounts down for our contract as well, if they wanted to the system.
So in the Panhandle, just Randall and Potter County is the only one that's on this.
Right now, Amarillo, Amarillo, the city of Potter and Randall County they're the ones that own the main frame of the system, yes.
So on that map, that big map that.
The coverage area.
So
right.
coverage area, and that's what's putting a tower here into the net.
Mhm.
So
Well, it would go on our tower we have instead of the existing tower.
existing tower.
Yes. That's one reason why the city of Border, you're looking at 2.6 million or something for them they have to build a new tower. We don't. So our infrastructure cost was less than theirs on that side of it, because I had Motorola come up here, look at our tower. They did a inspection on the tower to make sure the equipment and everything could go on that tower. So we wouldn't have to provide a building, a tower, or anything like that on our existing.
Yeah, scrap my idea. of trying to draw in other counties by moving our towers further north, but scratch that. You know,
So-
trying to gain more people around you into the,
Right.
for the cost.
We did talk to the Park Service. They made a phone call after they saw our meeting the other day. They are interested in going onto the system. They would want to, they're looking at providing another repeater site at the lake. So definitely increase our area. With what our coverage is already, it already covers the lake pretty well. I think they would want to make it, more specific to the lake. So they've already put that interest in is going to the system. Pantex, Carson County already contacted us after the meeting. Pantex is looking at funding Carson County's, some of their side of it to go to the system as well. So, and honestly, with how the system works, even with Amarillo, Potter, Randall, Hutchinson, you had Carson and one at the lake, the coverage map of that it's crazy how much more coverage you get with the system. And then plus the reduction of equipment too, there's no longer a repeater for a frequency. It's one repeater and I can put 10 people on one repeater instead of one person on one repeater. So like Hutchinson County Sheriff's Office, I could put, if they wanted 2 different channels, one for whatever they wanted. Even if we wanted, you could break it down into the Hutchinson County Library. If you wanted to give them a channel where they can communicate with each other, you can do that with that one repeater, but numerous different people.
When I start answering questions, I'm not anti.
Okay.
That's why I started. If it's needed and it's for our safety, I think we need to do it. But I have some questions concerning my first, tell me, I've slept. Tell me again what our status with our current equipment is. Where are we?
So the status of the equipment is it's a very old. Well, it's not. I say very old. It's the older equipment is a VHF Motorola Quantar repeater. That repeater is no longer serviceable with Motorola. So when it goes down, it goes down. We're going to buy a new repeater to get the radio system going. So you can stay with the older technology, the VHF stuff. You're still, even if we say our sheriff's office repeater, we have a sheriff's office repeater, we have a Hutchinson County ESU repeater, Dwayne has a road and bridge repeater. All these repeaters service that one channel and only that one channel. So say the sheriff's office repeater went down, we're still looking at to replace just that one repeater, VHF, you're looking about $150,000 to $300,000. And I don't know when that's going to happen, but I just know that Motorola ain't going to come out and fix it. So that's the same situation with the city of Warren. They have the same equipment we did. They're bought around the same time. So the city of Warren is going on to this newer technology, this new system to provide more channels for individual groups to get this service contract that you no longer will have a repeater that's 30 years old. Whenever that repeater gets to the point that they need to replace it with the service contract, Motorola comes in and swaps it out with the new one. And with the newer technology, you just keep moving on. And then that way you don't run into the end of life stuff anymore. It's kind of like trading out the vehicles at a certain time. They just keep upgrading the equipment.
But when we get to the end of the 15 years, where are we?
You're still paying the service agreement.
Well, I know we're paying, but you'll continue to play it after that? After
The maintenance part, yes.
Okay.
Technology after 15 years.
The infrastructure part it will end. But by paying that service, the SUA part, it doesn't matter even when that repeater gets to, say if that repeater goes down, lightning strike breaks or whatever, they'll come out and swap it out with something new or get you going until they can bring in the new stuff, put it on. And then
So it's possible that they would upgrade the technology should something go out because we have that service agreement.
right, and that's part of the SUA is that technology always increases with that agreement. So as long as we're paying our SUA, if something comes out, they change it, put it on there, modify it, and we keep going with what we have.
Okay, the SUA written in this deal, that the 3% is a rough estimate.
That's what he told me. He said that they estimate 3%, that the SUA to do with 3% just off of cost of whatever, the economy and all this stuff, is what he said. So I
see
just
the
put it-
Motorola guys are on.
There is Motorola guys on here.
Okay,
So I can,
There's
my deal is what is our, what if they come up later and they say, well, it's 5% now to 3%.
I think that, as far as, our contract with the city of Border, our dispatching contract, I think that's where it's gonna be, our nuts and bolts and everything is gonna be laid out in that, as far as how much we're gonna pay Border for our portion of the infrastructure and the SUA, everything's gonna be in the dispatching contract.
Okay, with what figures that you gave us, all right, you said our current dispatching figure is about 140,000.
Larry, I have, okay, so for 2017, we paid 70,064. 2018, we paid 83,634. 2019, we paid 105, and we're already at 107 this year. And we still have last quarter.
Okay, but the question, with that, we're gonna pay that, plus this 82,000 on up is gonna be added to that. We're gonna pay 200 and something thousand, plus we need 280,000 for new equipment.
288 for the
Up
radios.
to that.
And then the first year going onto the system, the SUA is covered. You
Right.
get that
It's under the
because
water.
they're putting in the equipment. So the first year is the 82,000. The next year is you have your 82,000 for your infrastructure, and then your SUA on top of that.
Right.
And our dispatching, normal dispatching contract for the dispatch department, for personnel, and everything like that. But I think I guess the city of Border going to the system, they're already, they're progressing into this technology. And I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job not giving you this opportunity to make a decision to do this with this system, because if we decided not to go to the system and we tried to keep with what we have, like last year, we had two different times that the repeater went down. We had to do an emergency on call to get somebody to come out. It was smaller things. At that time, it was just a fuse. I don't know. Like I said, it could go down to that point where we have to come into the middle of the budget. And I have to say, the sheriff's office repeater's down. I need 180,000, or they could go up to $300,000 for a repeater, just depending on the equipment we have. And I don't want to come in the middle of the budget and do that. Then that's why I wanted to bring it to you now.
Okay, if Borger goes, when they go to this system, well, our current radios and current equipment have not worked with their system. Could they still dispatch for us?
Yes, they could still dispatch using their consoles. The consoles they can use a different console, but as far as communication between, say, like the sheriff's office and their officers, different issue.
Would they dispatch for us?
Yes, I don't think as long as we're gonna pay them, I think that
That's probably But it's not gonna be a smooth system. They're gonna have to operate two systems,
complete different system. Yes.
which that's gonna create a problem for them also. And just in case we were thinking about trying to save money and going and doing our own dispatch, I figured that it'd cost us $375,000 a year to do our own dispatch. So, that's not
Plus, we
good.
have to hire more
Now, the only-
people.
Yeah, well, that was.
Oh, that was figured in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that was figuring what it would probably cost us to operate each year at the dispatch system, not the equipment to get us there.
Right.
You're looking at it. But with this service SUA, that's about $500,000 over 15 years. Could we not maintain the equipment and do that and keep it updated year by year without a service contract? If we have $30,000-$40,000 a year to keep us up, no?
It would, I'm assuming it might be an option with them, but I think there's maybe some warranty issues when it comes into some of the equipment upgrading that if you did it that way. I think after looking at what they were presenting by the SUA, it's like if you decide to go to the system, you want to do the SUA. It's just that because it's
Do
gonna
you want
keep
to let
your-
them comment on that?
Yeah, and I think Sean.
Are you,
Turn their cameras on.
they're muted though. I think.
Hey, good morning, Judge and Commissioners. This is Brad Rice. I met you all a few weeks ago at the last court session, or I guess a couple ago. But to answer that, the SUA, because Randall County and Potter County and Amarillo share the core, they've opted into doing the SUA agreement. And what that does is, like Jerry mentioned, is it keeps the system up to date. If you had, say, Amarillo, Potter, Randall were at release 7.20, which is one of our releases, and City of Borger and Hutchinson County did not maintain the same incremental upgrades, it would cause a major impact to the system. So Randall County and Potter and Amarillo have chosen that anybody that comes onto the system maintains the same level of upgrades and basically the same contract package, just to make sure that everybody's on the same release, and it's all done at one time. So we have a full-blown team that comes in and does any of the upgrades at that time, and it's timed with each of the entities to make sure that they're all done at the same time. They all flip over at the same time, so it's seamless.
I understand.
Thank you.
Verify saying that.
Thank you.
Now, I want to make sure I understand this right. I'm head to figure here, but on year 15, and should our contract say relatively the same for the dispatch service, at year 15, our infrastructure payment, the SUA, and the dispatching service would cost us approximately $267,000 a year.
At year 15.
Yeah.
So you would drop the infrastructure side of it, which would be the 82
After that,
after year 15.
after 15, but at 15, this would be the max that we would pay on that.
Yes.
We would pay the 82 and the SUA, which is 127,000, plus approximately 140,000 for dispatch. So that would be $267,000 that would be obligated to at the end of that time.
If order went up on the price, they
Right.
agreed to the static price of 110.
Right. I understand where we are there. I put it in at 140 because that's a little bit higher.
Well, I tried to get them down to a
Yeah.
little bit lower on the dispatch.
But that would be the amount that we would have to budget that year to cover. That the county would have to budget that year to cover these expenses.
And the commissioner had a question about that 3% increase on the SUA. Is that still about right? 3% per year?
And I heard the conversation, but I'm assuming that was along the lines of the out years of maintenance. Is that what
Yeah, well, every year the SUA increased a small amount. And I talked to Stephen, he said that they usually do about a 3% just to.
So that's accurate. So it's basically, all the equipment that is required to keep the system updated. We rely on third-party vendors for like switches, routers, workstations, servers, things like that. And so we build in a cost of living increase, standard escalator that's a 3 to 5% range. That's the benefit of doing the multi-year versus a year by year. And so it's usually in that 3. When you do the multi-year, it usually is in that 3 to 5% range. If you're doing an annual, it's not usually drastic, but you could have a bigger increase of 5 to 8% year over year. So that's why we try to do this. So it helps lock in and gives you guys the ability to forecast a little bit more accurately for budget.
So you will not guarantee us a percentage rate if we enter into a 15-year contract?
So we provided the 5-year out years, and that is locked in. And so what we would do, and we have historically done a 10-year. We don't typically do a 15, but what we've seen is a lot of market fluctuation, especially all the craziness right now. So it's getting a little bit more difficult for us to forecast out accurately costing. And so we've taken the approach of a 5-year window is a little bit more of a manageable period to where we can accurately give you a number without building in a bunch of risk that's likely unnecessary, because we're covering the cost of what product costs may change, availability, things like that. So the 5-year window has been a little bit more it's a lot more manageable as far as accurately giving you a number. So what we would do is that, well before the end of this 5-year agreement's over, usually a year before or 18 months, we start working and get the updated numbers to you. So you have that to be able to forecast for budget purposes as well. But we don't expect any major changes. I could come in with a 10-year number, but to me, I'd prefer to give you the best pricing so that you guys can save money where you can.
Where we have the professional services, where it's $1.4 million overall, and our share would be 500,000, a little over 500,000. When you say professional services, what's included in that?
That's them coming out, installing everything on the tower. They have to hook up links between the towers to communicate back with the core and Amarillo. So they come in and do, bottom to top installation and getting everything tied into the system and back to the core and Amarillo.
My next question is, if we were to pay that service up front and not finance it, is that a possibility?
As far as the financing and anything, ours is specifically an agreement with the city of Border. So we could go to the city of Border and pay whatever we wanted to out of that professional services and infrastructure. We could pay whatever we wanted to up front to the city of Border. The city of Border is doing the financing.
Right. And
ours
so,
is just through their agreement.
so if we did that, we could lower that infrastructure payment
Yeah.
considerably. That's all I had.
Yeah. Personally, I would consider paying it all instead of monthly, because of 4% interest versus 0.18 is a pretty good difference.
4% interest on this project is only about $845,000. No, that's wrong. Excuse me, $320,000 interest over the 15 on that. At 4%.
But then it'd be $4 million saved.
Yeah.
Because of one
Of course,
percent.
we
But
hope
could
we
we-
don't stay at 0.18 forever.
Yeah.
The next 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're looking at,
That's where we are now.
we're looking at what? $1.1 million to pay, to buy the radios, to pay the infrastructure and the professional services. Is about, I didn't add that one up, but it's about 1.1 million.
Then what would it be after that year?
Well, we would be back to our contract that we're,
Dispatch
the
contract.
dispatch contract.
Dispatch contract and the SUA.
Plus the SUA.
And I think that the SUA.
Plus the FUA.
28.
We got about, we got to pay
So
the
288,000.
So we would pay.
No.
No,
28,000.
no,
28,000, I think, was the SUA. So
We'd
it's
pay.
the 110 plus the 20.
we'd pay about one,
So it'd be honestly about.
About what we're paying right now,
It'd be about what you're.
little.
or less, a little less.
You have 46,000 on your 16 of that, is that different?
We'd pay, we had to pay this,
On your
this and that.
16, you had 46,636.
That was that 9%
Right,
increase.
plus
they added
this.
to the SUA.
Would be what we'd have to pay.
It could be less than that, it could be
It's
more,
only 16 years.
but it shouldn't be more than that, but it could be less than that.
mean, it's going
But
up.
the first year you're
Right.
here, no matter what, pay for it all up front.
Because of the
3%.
So you pay the dispatching contract plus the extra.
So we're looking at 150.
Yeah, approximately 150.
150.
Versus two
Maybe,
sixty,
it might get a little bit more.
about $100,000 a year less. If we paid it off in 15 years, it's one that.
Yeah, you even taking it and paying for it all at once. We were sitting at 6.9 months. When we came down, when the auditor was here, we came down to 6.6 months.
That's pretty good.
But we're going down.
Well,
I mean,
but you gotta have to remember one thing. When the auditor was here, we were down, but we put another $600,000 back in.
Yes, he's right.
Yeah, remember that?
yeah,
So,
but East-West Runway hasn't been done yet, and it's put on hold.
That's gonna be 200.
That's 200,000.
back, so.
well, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it is.
Well, evidently I didn't listen. Evidently I
And
wasn't
then
listening.
that could come up any time because TxDOT is doing their cuts and it's on hold right now. And that could just pop up. And that's our 10%, 200,000. Engineer estimate.
But then you could work and get us another 200,000 back.
Yeah, I doubt if the federal money's gonna be gone.
You can't do that again, huh? You did a good job.
Here,
getting
before I
that.
forget my question,
Yes.
because I know I will. You're talking about Pantex funding Carson. Does Phillips have any interest on their radio world to come into this? Or are
Well,
they
so
already there?
Phillips is already running the 800 system. So that their repeater at the plant is already on the same compatibility as this system is here. So they wouldn't be, so their radios are 800 radios, so that's what we're looking
No
at.
grants or anything out there.
So I did communicate a little bit with Motorola about possibly trying to write something on the CARES funding. So up and down as far as what
I'm
you
trying
can
to
use
think
that
of
for.
every avenue.
Right now, I'm trying to hit any possible pocket of money we could find to maybe throw something at this. But I think with, especially with the CARES funding, it's a little, and then
It'd be a
some of
stretch.
the other grants there's some of them that have already, I guess, they've kind of taken them off the market because they're putting so much money in CARES funding right now. So yeah, it's
Not even really charging to care.
Oh, well, see, that's we COVID related.
That money is just going back.
We tried.
What did Potter and Randall do as far as their payments? Do you know?
I do know their entire project was like 25 million.
I mean, like, did they break it up or how to put it?
I'm not sure how they financed or that. I'm sure Brad could.
Sean could probably address that one. He actually was the account rep that helped sell that. If y'all can unmute, there he is.
There we go. So yeah, Potter County did a finance deal through Motorola on their project. So did Randall County. Amarillo was a direct PO from the city of Amarillo for their project.
Cities have more money.
Let's face it.
Any other questions or comments? Thank you both for being on today to answer our questions. Appreciate it.
Happily.
Absolutely.
How long we got to make a decision?
Well, we're looking at
We said,
the city of Order. They're trying to, based off of budget and stuff too. We still got to make these connections with the city of Amarillo and try to get that legwork started. I think they said the project time on this is like about a year out. So they've already said as far as like radio stuff. I know the sheriff's office, Dwayne had already given me a radio that was an older radio. I have 2 radios that are the older radios that I cannot have fixed. So I know that I wanted to wait buying any newer radios until we decided what we're going to do. Whenever we kind of figure it out, that's when we'll start the communication with Amarillo and getting all that laid out to get the foundation built on this, so.
But you do feel like it will happen during this next budget year?
I can tell you that, yeah, I can tell you that we're working on contract and getting everything nailed down for Borger to move forward. I think we've targeted, it was more like an October timeframe for them, but we had talked as soon as end of September. But I know that Garrett's got some things he's working on, trying to get some of the logistics done on their end. And I think they're wanting to find out y'all's, I guess, opinions and feelings on the radio system before they make any final moves. But yeah, timeline, I think we were looking at trying to get everything moving around the October timeframe. And it would take probably 8 to 10 months to build out the system as well. So it's a lengthy process.
And the big piece for the city of Borger is if we chose not to go to the system, there's a whole repeater site that's not going to be installed. So it's a big, y'all's decision is a big decision based off of how they're moving forward too. So they're waiting for y'all to make that decision for us.
Thoughts?
Can I say something, Commissioner?
Yep.
So I know that we're looking ahead, right? Right now we feel like we're going down, right, as far as income and revenue. I think right now we're more of a manageable time to make the decision to go to it. And two options here. We're either gonna continue to go down, and next year or the year after, if it gets as bad as some people think it's gonna get, that won't be an option, even a thought, because we'll be that bad. But I think at that time will be more manageable to have the payment or already pay the majority of the money. That'd be the worst scenario. The other one would be we haven't come this far over 200 years for a virus to get us down to that level and for us not to rise back up. We're gonna have to come up with as a society, as a nation, we're gonna have to come up with a way to balance things back up, whether it be wearing masks for the rest of our lives to where other people have jobs, or to find another solution. But I think that today, or at this time, will be the prime time to make a decision to go for it if you think that will be wise. Because later down the road, if he goes that bad, we won't have a choice. But if he doesn't go that bad, it will be more manageable. Then we will be back up to where we need to be. But this will be the prime time. Anyways, that's all I have to say.
And we have radios that this
Or dead?
time that are going down that are non,
They're
we can't fix them
outdated
there.
and
So we're gonna have to start.
As far as getting them a fix with Motorola, and they're just they're a big paper layer.
Right. Okay.
I mean, he paid for the desk.
I have a lot of paper on my desk, but
You don't need no weight.
no. Okay, well, that's something to think about. We have a meeting on the 24th.
But they're basically, we have a guarantee that if we go with this at the end of 15 years, we will not be outdated. The equipment will be.
Especially like I said, hurricane or SUA,
Right.
We're always going to be at the top of the market as far as our equipment. We upgrade it to what we need and what we have. So we'll not have to run into this situation where we don't, or our repeater, if it goes down, we can't have it fixed. We have to buy a new one, like $300,000 or whatever it's going to cost. It'll constantly be upgraded to what it needs to have.
So with this contract, if a repeater goes down, we get a new one.
They replace it. Yeah,
They replace
replace it or fix it or whatever.
it. And it's covered in that
In
fee.
that SUA. Like an extended warranty.
Yeah, that's what.
Jared, you still have that, I have it somewhere that has the 5 and it's added, broken down into different years.
Yeah.
I think I have it.
This one has
they were here to speak, they gave out.
Right, and it should be the same figures to the first five.
I think, Larry, you asked to see the rest of the 15, so I just
Right.
added the.
Right.
Okay.
Let me see.
Yes.
But I think it's the same for 5 years. Same. Yeah, the first five are the same. It's on this sheet.
Okay, what, do y'all have any more questions for Gary at this point? Do y'all, have anything on the budget? Any questions, any
When's our next meeting?
24th?
No special in there in between. When do we have to make final approval of the budget and the tax rate?
Right here, I'm gonna look at my calendar. The 24th, is what we had originally scheduled for our one public hearing. And then, the 31st, which is the following Monday, we have a meeting to adopt the tax rate. And we don't have to do it then, if we're not ready, we can push it out. That was what we had on the calendar.
So when there's big decisions we have to make right now, addition of employees with the sheriff's office, tax, salary increase or not,
Right.
and what we're gonna do with this thing.
Kathy gave me this information, and she said this is a rough estimate. 1% raise is about $81,000. 2% is $161,000. A $50 raise is $90,000. Y'all wanna look at that? We still don't have the Tyler. I need to maybe call him and see if they'll send us something. Tyler, the increase.
I think it's gonna be 5%,
Right.
because they just sent me what it was for Encode, which is Markinized. And I think we paid in January or February, I think February, but it's 5% increase. So I bet if ours is 5, I bet everybody's
Odyssey
is
is
5.
Yeah. So, but we haven't got anything.
And we haven't got, that, so that'll be another.
And then we need to add about 7,200, probably somewhere around there, I'll have to figure it, on longevity.
Right, we haven't
Because we
added that,
haven't added that in, and then we got that, Cindy got that one thing from the appraisal
Yeah.
district,
which went up $15,000.
we'll have to add that in Carrie's budget.
I put it in.
Oh, you did, but today, but it's not my figures.
No, that's not. We haven't run any new.
Longevity was how much?
About 7,072, something like that. With $60 a person,
Right.
per year, so.
I just hope we'll keep in mind of the businesses that had to close their door.
I can't justify a raise
I can't.
with
And-
taxpayers.
And waitresses that no income, people couldn't pay the bills. I just hope we keep that in mind. Because we hadn't seen the effects that it's on. Come to us, come February, March, when they go around and do the appraisal.
January 1st.
I have,
Start January 1st.
I have a real concern with the 98% collection rate.
Some people are on building,
That is not.
See, we're about, right now, we I got a check from Carrie the other day for about 60,000. That was for the month of July. So I think we'll make this year because we only like about 250,000.
for the next few months, getting it in. So I think we'll get the 98 this year unless one of those people just can't, unless they're delinquent, they can't pay, because these are delinquent now that we're getting anyway, so.
My big thing would be that for where I stand, I mean, the radios and the shares would have to be talked about, but I can't, I haven't been able to justify a raise. I mean, our employees were able to employ them the entire time that other people were not able to work. So to take money from taxpayers that weren't making money to give more to our employees that were able to make that money during that time, I can't justify that. I mean, I love our employees, but we were able to keep them having a stable job the entire time. That's where I stand.
Yeah. I have a question for you, on the courthouse security line item 6974990. We have $10,000 in that, and I know this year we've taken 273247, which I checked with Pam, and that was for the locks. They repaired the door, and maybe one other thing. I think, is there a reason why we would need to have that at 10, or could we lower that? Because we rarely take anything out of that. What are y'all
I don't know if you plan on any new cameras. I don't know what your plans are.
Well, I know Russell was wanting to update some cameras at the annex. So is that where he take that out of?
Well, it could.
He could. Okay.
But isn't that courthouse security fund comes from some fees that
Yes.
go in there?
JP's, county.
So why would we want to lower it? The money comes in there, I don't see how we can lower
Well,
it. It has to be placed in there,
right.
whether we spend it or not,
Right.
as an
It's
expenditure.
kind of an in and out. I mean,
Right.
it's or one of those accumulative things.
Yeah.
But there's probably way more money. Well,
We
maybe
haven't done-
not,
yeah.
because there wasn't, because we used to pay that car allowance to the constables out of that.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot
Probably
of
wasn't legal, but we did that.
That wouldn't touch the cameras at this.
Just saying.
Right, no,
We're looking at 42,000.
to update all those.
Yeah, it's on
Yeah.
hold, but
Yeah.
He's looking at doing all of it. I mean, he's looking at adding some library to keep it all central and updating the
Right.
bandwidth too, which would be, it'd be a lot more than 10,000.
That's a project for another day.
many years down the road.
Yeah. All right, thanks, Mark.
There in there.
So hopefully by the 24th, we'll have the rest of those figures in, the Tyler updates and the longevity, and we'll get that in. And we'll have a
And what
super
about
clear
on
picture.
JP1? Is she gonna get that done before?
I've already put it in there.
I know, but we need to take it out if she's not gonna get it done. If she's gonna get it done this year.
Trying to get done for the COVID.
Yeah, she's gonna get it done before
Out
October.
of this year's budget,
Yeah,
So we get on
Talked about
We'd
it.
ask her
Yeah.
to do that.
I'll talk to her and ask her.
I think she was having,
She was having trouble getting people in and
lined
giving
up
her an
to
estimate.
do it or give an estimate.
I think she said she only had one estimate.
Yeah.
It's like something about 3,500 something. Don't put that in because I'm not sure. Put it in. I think she said. Put in there. Red's not sure. I'll go for that.
Is Leslie on? No? Okay. I'll talk to her about that and find out.
I
where
can give her more names if she needs them.
Okay.
Give me a
You
holler.
give her.
I gave her one. I can give her more.
You guys got anything else today? Kathy, do you have anything else for
I
us?
don't think so. I don't know of
Well, I
anything.
guess too.
Do we need to keep, I guess, Jerry, we need to keep turning in receipts to you because we could get reimbursed for if we need masks, if we need something or another.
Right,
Or not.
so we have that original upfront 20% or 50,000.
Uh-huh.
So we'll put on, out of that, the deduction, how much we spent on the invoices that we had.
Uh-huh.
And then if we have any more, we have, in that pot of money, we have up to 254,000 that we can apply for. So if we run out of that 50, we can definitely apply for it. So yeah, anything to do with that.
Does that go through the end of the year?
December 31st.
So they need to continue to take it out of their own line items, or we gonna put that money in a line item?
No, but it's gotta come out of an expense of their office and then
Okay,
it
we're
can
gonna
be
continue to
reimbursed
do
back
that.
to us.
Okay,
This will go back into the line.
yeah, I just did, we didn't have to receive the money yet, we got it, and I didn't know how, if something handled after that.
Yeah, after that, I'm assuming the same way.
That'd be that's the easiest way.
Okay, anybody got anything else? No? All right. Be ready to get to work next time. 24th. Meeting adjourned. Hey,
When's our next hospital?
24th and then the 31st.